All right, so we're going to talk about how to graph an exponential function in this video. I always like to graph functions with what I like to call the Fab Five. The Fab Five are the values -2, -1, 0, and 0, 1, and 2 for x. And then based on that, I can figure out my y's. So I'm going to plug in those values into my equation to be able to graph this. So I have 2 times 3 to the -2. And I'm going to follow order of operations, which says I need to do my exponent first. But y'all notice that it's a -2 as my exponent. So that means that that flips, right? Because it's a -2. So 2 stays, 3 squared flips to the bottom. So I've got 2/9. Same thing here. I've got 2 and then 3 to the -1. But there's another negative exponent, so he needs to flip to the bottom. So I've got 2 over 3 to the first. Anything to the first power is just a self. So I have 2/3. Then I've got 2 times 3 to the 0. Anything to the 0 power is 1. So 2 times 1 is 2. Then I've got 2 times 3 to the first. Anything again to the first power is itself. So 2 times 3 is 6. Last one, 2 times 3 to the second. 3 to the second is 9. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. And then 2 times 9 is 18. All right, so now I'm going to graph this. I am not going to graph 2 because that's pretty high. So I'm just going to try to keep it to -2, -1, 0, and 1. Okay, so I'm going to plot those order pairs. So obviously I'm not going to be exact here on 2/9. I'm just going to try to get it close. 2/9 is about 1/3, so a little bit under 1/3 is where I need to put it. And then 2/3, so that's exactly 2/3. And then 0, 2. And last one, 1/6. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so the biggest thing is when you're connecting is you cannot go past the x-axis. You can't even touch it. So when I graph this, it's super important that I do not touch that axis because the y value will never equal 0. And so we got to make sure that our graph reflects that. Because if you think about it, you can never have a negative number if you're doing it to a power. Because what do negative exponents do? Negative exponents flip it. It doesn't make it negative. And so unless this a out front here is negative, the whole thing can't ever be negative. And that's why you need to keep it above the x-axis because it can never be negative. All right, so there's a little taste of graphing exponential functions.